Yeah, you know, my dad didn't raise any children who weren't hams, so this is the biggest audience I've ever had, I think. And I've thought a lot about it, but first of all, I need to thank some people here today. First of all, and I'm not sure if it was you, Father Ed, or you, Scott, but somebody had the presence of mind to decide to have this retirement celebration after I actually left, and all I can say is I heartily recommend it. You're not nervous, you're not trying to tie up any loose ends, and as I have said to many people in the room already this afternoon, you look good because you've finally gotten enough sleep. And of course I need to start out by thanking everyone who contributed to making this event today. Jeff, who I know is back there someplace, who did the lion's share of the organization and work. And the staff of Special Collections who had to coordinate all the other things that were involved. Morgan and Andrea and Michelle, and I know Helen's back there someplace. Usually I can see her because she's the tallest. And Kelly and Jillian, because I really, really appreciate the work that it took for everyone to make this afternoon possible. I just have a few remarks which I have drastically cut down because of what Lucy and Jim have said. But I will share this and look around the space and think about it, and I'm still going to have to process your remarks, Scott. In 1972, the library was a really different place in an incredibly different time. The university librarian, it's fascinating to watch titles come full circle, left her office in Lewis Center, and there might be one or two in this room who remember that, promptly at 4:30 each afternoon, pulling on her white gloves after she had placed her hat on and pulled the veil down in front of her eyes. Straight out of a 1940s movie. The Napoleon collection and the Incunabula were in wooden cabinets housed on the second floor of Lewis Center. The air conditioning was the open windows, which let in the soot and dirt from the CTA trains passing by, and the heating was the radiators that sometimes leaked. Not the most auspicious environmental conditions to preserve rare books. In my first job as acquisitions librarian, I was tasked with opening boxes that had been stored for decades in a basement, labeled sports collections. In fear and trembling, I opened them, figuring they'd be all about basketball and football, and I mean, not to disparage any of the sports teams, but that's not one of my strong suits. Turned out to be 19th century British sporting literature. The Dickens collection was in a little room at the Uptown campus. The Durr collection was still on the circulating shelves. Pulling together all those collections, we had about 2,000 books, and archives were 2 file cabinets of 4 drawers each. That was it. Moving from campus to campus and then from room to room in SAC as the library competed for space with classrooms and faculty offices, the collections were rootless. And I really wasn't quite sure what I was doing with all of those things at that point. I wasn't sure of the future of the department. Until finally, the building that would become the Richardson Library was completed and had designated space in this lovely reading room for special collections. And that glorious time, well, Elisa, it really was glorious once we got over bumping the books down the cobbled brick walkways in SAC, when we finally moved into this space in 1992. And I'm probably the only person left in this room who still on occasion refers to this as the new library. Now, the collections number over 17,000 books and counting, and the archives collections are almost 3,000 feet. Maybe I can be permitted a moment of ego and steal some words from political discourse and claim, I built that. built it only because of the infrastructure around me, so you can see which way I'm going to vote. A library director, Glenn Charvenar, long gone from DePaul, and a great university president, wonderfully seated here with us in the room tonight, Father John T. Richardson, who gave me the job that I was about to create. Subsequent library and university administrators continued to support the idea of special collections and archives based on that foundation and my enthusiasm and hard work, because I really have had the chance to do what I love to do. And I'm so grateful that Father Udovic is here today, because without his support in these last few decades, what we've accomplished certainly would not have been realized. I'm very aware that you don't have the support to build the instruction program, to devote the resources to building these collaborations, unless there is an environment and an atmosphere that promotes, supports, and engenders such development. And I freely admit that good fortune has played a role in everything I've done. I've been able to love what I do. Well, most days. I'm afraid there are a few people in here who heard me on my bad days, too, so they know that I can't say every day. I've loved the collections, starting with Napoleon and Victorian literature. You know, after all, I'm a child of the earlier generation of educational structure. But from that literature and material to the histories of Chicago, to the wonderful stories that are in university archives, of which pretty much everyone in this room is a part in one way or another, to the growing collections on social justice. I've loved working with the donors, even the demanding ones and the ones who got away. And I have to admit, one of the donors actually is here today, and I wrote this morning at home, but I'm going to read through what I wrote. I learned so much from them all, from the incredible modesty of the priests like Jim Brockman, who brought his research files on Oscar Romero to DePaul, to Dan Berrigan, to the power and force represented in their papers, to the gentle persistence and continued work of playwright and activist Nick Petrika, to the reward of encountering the force of nature that is Justice Ann Burke, to the joy of being considered part of Sister Helen Prejean's team, which she always uses to describe what we do here in Archives. I love the classes, working with the students to share and to see them use the resources we built. And I can't tell you how much the History Award means in terms of what I've done with the classes. It will give me not just an excuse, but a reason to be here every spring for the history conference. Those partnerships with the faculty, represented by all of you who are here, that has been the most rewarding part of what I have had to do and what I have been able to accomplish. It has helped me through the bad days when I could never look at another report that I had to write or try and figure out the budget for anything. And it helped me in the beginning stages of it when Jim Krokar and Chris Garrigan, and I'm really sorry Chris isn't here, were the first faculty who really helped me develop those programs. And that sense and support from them was really crucial in those early days of an instruction program in special collections and archives, when no one in the library or really the profession knew why I wanted to let undergraduates actually handle it. Without white gloves even. But that's another story for another time. Finally, I've been able to love the people that I work with. Not all of them, you know, it's never perfect, but the incredible faculty, all of you, my wonderful colleagues in the library and in special collections, and particularly the library administration, all of the library administration who have supported this work, and the university administration who has continued to maintain the budget and the interest and the involvement and the commitment to the work that we do here. Work which I don't need to talk about because Jim and Lucy have done such a magnificent job. So, especially, I have to thank my staff. Morgan, Michelle, Andrea, Helen. and not only my current staff, but some of my past staff are here as well. Mary Clark, who worked for me before we moved into the new library in Richardson. Jeannie Child, who was responsible for processing the first formulation of university archives. Our student assistants. They've really made the journey worthwhile and fun. And what they've done today and what you've all done today, it really covers so much of what I cherish about what I've done. The collections, the classes, and the people. And to Paul, that's given me the opportunity to do what I have done and to cherish the path with its pitfalls and pleasures. I've had an incredible journey with the support and encouragement and affection of everyone in this room, those few whose names have been mentioned, and so many others time would not permit me to include. I've been able to build this. Kathryn's house, the house that Kathryn built. I've been able to build this for now and for the future and for all of you and for all of the students and the faculty to come. Thank you all for being part of my work and my life and for being here this afternoon to share the time and the honor with me. Thank you all.
Under the impression that there was something to be passed around so that a glass might be raised in recognition of, so we'll let that continue, and I'll give one last gift. This is a gift from the library to Kathryn. It is, it's not as exciting to look at it.
Sound we love.
Yes. It's a gift card from Amazon, so that you shall not have to be concerned about becoming a book thief. You will be fine for knowing the way you read at least a week. So, I'll wait a moment as the glasses come around. And then as they come around, or if you have one of your earlier glasses, I will ask everyone to please raise your glass and to wish Kathryn well into her retirement. Cheers.